Imagine finding out that your husband's entire family has been hiding the biggest truth of his life from him. Not a small lie, not some awkward family drama. The kind of secret that changes how someone sees his parents, his childhood, and even his own identity. And in this story, the truth did not come from a DNA test. It came from his own father, right before a major life milestone. And once it came out, there was no putting this family back together the way it was before. This woman had been with her husband for years. They were building a life together. From the outside, everything looked normal. But one night, just before they were supposed to close on a home, her father-in-law told her something that completely changed the way she saw his family. He said that the man her husband had always believed was his biological father was not actually his biological father. At first, she thought he had to be joking, but he was serious. And suddenly she was standing there with information that never should have been handed to her in the first place. Because once someone gives you information like that, they have already changed your life too. She did not tell her husband right away. She carried the secret for about a month. And during that month, every normal thing started to feel different. Apparently, there had always been details around the family that now raised questions. Things that may have looked innocent before suddenly felt different. Because from her perspective, this was not some minor detail from the past. This was her husband's identity, his right to know the truth about who he was. But telling him meant detonating the image he had of his family. Keep the secret and live with guilt. Tell the truth and become the person who shatters his world. Eventually, she made a decision. She told him. And as you can imagine, it changed everything. Her husband had never really questioned who his father was. Why would he? He had been raised to believe one version of his life, and as far as he knew, that version was real. But once he heard the truth, he started looking back at his childhood differently. He started connecting dots. He started questioning things he had probably never thought twice about before. And that moment is bigger than people realize, because when someone finds out a secret like this as an adult, they are not just reacting to the information, they are reacting to the years, the birthdays, the family dinners, the photos, the trust, the feeling of realizing that everyone around you knew something about your life that you did not. That kind of betrayal hits differently. It is not just, why did you not tell me? It becomes who around me was real. Once the truth was out, the fallout was massive. There was anger, there was hurt, there was confusion, and naturally there was blame. Because when families build themselves around a lie, the first thing they often do when the truth comes out is look for a messenger to blame. Not the person who created the situation, not the people who protected it, the messenger. And that is exactly why this kind of decision is so painful. Was it her place to tell him? That is the question at the center of this whole story. Some people believe a truth this big belongs to the person living it, no matter how messy it gets. Others believe she should have stayed out of it, but they were not telling him. Not when he got older, not when he got married, not even when he was about to buy a home and move deeper into adult life. After a while, we were going to tell him just sounds like an excuse. It really means they were putting it off because they did not want to deal with what would happen next. What makes this hit even harder is that the secret did not come from a moment of honesty. It came out because a man got drunk and dumped a life-changing truth onto someone else. He did not sit his son down like a father. He did not take responsibility. He handed the emotional bomb to his son's partner and left her to deal with it. I think the most painful part of stories like this is not just the lie itself. It is the stolen choice. He never got the dignity of being trusted with his own story. The lesson here is simple. Family secrets do not disappear. They collect interest. The longer people hide the truth, the more damage it does when it finally comes out. And when the truth concerns someone's identity, silence is not kindness. It is control. So what do you think? Did she do the right thing by telling her husband the truth? Or should she have stayed out of it and let his family handle their own secret?